right, welcome everybody. I am back. I know I said I would be back sooner. Life gets in the way sometimes. But hey, like I usually upload like one video a year, so we're doing good. I'm gonna upload a second video of me doing sort of the same thing, working on the same project. I've been working on this painting here of this astronaut. When we left off last time, I decided that I really messed up our little tracks here. I think they need to be bigger. I think they need to be more spaced out. So I'm going to see about fixing that aspect of what we're doing today. Maybe a couple of other things. I don't have a ton of time, and I don't want the video to be like super long. So I'm just going to get in here and get started. I really need to clear off my palette. I have a bunch of these. They're just covered in a gazillion colors. I probably should mix light colors on single palettes. But you know, I'm lazy, so I don't do that. I'm trying this from a slightly different angle today. We'll see if the video comes out okay. I'm gonna make this one just a little wider to start off. Kind of behind my little area here, but that's all right. I like to touch them up after the paintings are dry and done. I touch up the edges usually is how I tend to work. Also, I mentioned it last time, but I'm not a professional at this. Learning as I go. I've been doing painting for a long time, but I had classes when I was a kid, mostly pastel and acrylics. I never did any sort of oil in any art classes back in the day, but a long time ago, back in the dark ages, in the 90s. I'm old. That's what I'm saying here. So, yeah, I had tried to start today by seeing if I could get any of this to work, but it's been too long. Waited too long between videos. It didn't happen. It's okay. I just I added a little more paint, and we're going again from here. And it looks like I already need more, but that's all right. So yeah, I'm making a separate track here. We'll kind of merge it all up. That's the idea. Just trying to get a baseline for where I want to go, and then I'll work on some of the shadowing and things like that. Kind of through there. There we go. Life has gotten in the way. I started a new company along with some friends, some folks that I met in a writing community. In addition to painting, I write. Working on a novel. I've been working on a novel for years. It is it's a slow process, partly because I'm a perfectionist, which is not good. Probably just need to try to get it published without necessarily being sort of stuck where I've been stuck for a while. But things happened. Had a stable job for a long time, and it was gone. And that happens. Finding a new one's been kind of a challenge. But hey, listen, I can paint instead. Maybe I'll sell some. Don't know. I've thought about that. Still learning sort of how. I've had some people encourage me to try and given me some pointers on what I could do, where I could go. Maybe just sell online. I tried to do some prints. I think it's Imprint, MPRNT or something. It's like an artist-owned community. I had tried to get onto that, but the painting I put on there was not. It didn't get enough upvotes. I think I probably need like a larger body of work. It's funny. I have a lot of paintings. My mom has a lot of them, and they're hanging in her house. And it's funny, like sometimes I look back at them and I go, oh, man, they're not good enough. I don't know. Some of the subject matter is is things I don't really believe in anymore, or stand for anymore. So that makes it tough too. My parents are very religious. They grew up in a very religious evangelical household. My mom and dad were missionaries. My dad, he's retired, but he still does a lot of mission work. And that's not me anymore, for a lot of reasons. If you go to my blog, cfreak.dev, C-F-R-E-A-K, name of this, C-Freak's Trains and Trains game. cfreak.dev is, I have a whole series about that. So if you're interested in that, I won't bore you in a painting video about those things. It's definitely something that's important to me. But I do a lot of different things. It's not the only thing I am. So, but yeah, the business. I talk a little about the business. We're working on feedback for authors. One thing that we've discovered, I kind of had the idea. It's one of those things that sometimes you think the universe sort of conspires. I've been working on this idea for a while. I've noticed that in the creative community, especially authors, but some artists as well in the community I'm in, and they're worried about AI, right? They're worried about Google and Microsoft, especially if you're writing. They're worried about that data being taken, even before it's published, and fed into LLMs and used for training data. And I don't like that. I don't want my writing or my art to end up that way. It may be somewhat inevitable. I don't know, but when I started coming up with this idea, well, what if I had a way for people to safely upload their work, where they could get feedback, and not worry about our platform delivering that to AI, and then attempting to keep the AIs out of our platform, things that we're working on. And one of the founders of that community and I started talking along with another guy, and they kind of had the same idea. And it really works out because one guy's the community founder, super smart, super great guy, excellent author. Also been helping with my writing for free, amazing, just a great person. And another guy, but the first guy I was talking about, he's good at building community, and that's what he does. And he's good at making people feel safe and welcome, and that's huge. That's hard. And the other guy is business guy. He's done startups, and kind of has that. He understands like the business aspect of it. I've been around a long time. I started a business before, so I understand it too. But it's one of the things I don't like. It's not fun. But he thrives in it, and it's just perfect. And of course, I do tech, so I'm writing a lot of code, but I enjoy writing code, so it's not a big deal. And it's funny, we sort of thought, well, we're doing the anti-AI thing. Nobody's going to really care about that. But we actually have people, like investor people, that might be interested. We'll see. It's kind of one of those things where we have to find somebody who actually sees our vision. We wouldn't want to bring somebody in and say, hey, you can have part of the company, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, now you're doing AI. Well, that would sort of defeat the whole purpose of what we're trying to do. So that doesn't make a ton of sense. But yeah, it's been interesting. We're going to be launching soon. I'll probably talk more about it. I got to get people in it. I got to get people involved. So if you're an author, keep watching this space. We'll be talking about some of those things as they come up soon. I think we're really close at this point. The other thing I'm going to talk about a little bit as I paint here today is I'm going to be taking a trip. going across the country. I don't. I have nothing but time. I don't have a ton of money, but you know, I'll be all right. I'm 46 years old. I got married really young. It's great. My wife is awesome. But I've never sort of done something on my own. I've always been with other people. You know, with the family and everything, which is awesome. So I don't know. Maybe it's a midlife crisis. Maybe it's not really a good time. I don't know. But that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take basically a month off and just travel and see the U.S. I thought about going internationally, and well, I think the wife would kill me. She loves to travel, so would probably not be good for me to go on a trip that she loves, right? So yeah, we're going to be doing that. You know, getting back with a train theme, I'll be seeing, planning to see all of the big boy locomotives in the U.S. So I'm not looking at it right now. I'll probably get some of this wrong. There's one here in the Dallas area, up in Frisco. So I'm definitely going to be seeing that. So and probably as soon as next week. So I'll probably have another video up to talk about the one that's in Frisco. I'm trying to get some history of each one, kind of get some background on them as much as I can. You know, probably as, to be honest, probably as much as Wikipedia will give me, right? It's probably bad. I probably shouldn't say that. People are like, nobody cares about this. There are a lot of other train channels that are far better than mine for sure. Yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, there's one in Frisco. Then I'll be heading to St. Louis. There's one there. I've seen the one in St. Louis a couple of times before. They also have a DD40X. They're right next to each other. It's really cool. So I wanted to do a video about those. And the Railroad Museum in St. Louis is excellent. And there's one in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And our community builder business partner happens to live in Pennsylvania as well. So I'm going to be seeing him. Actually get to meet him in person. Been chatting with him for 2 years online. And voice chat, video. Seen him on video, but I haven't actually met him in person. So I'm going to get to meet him in person, hang out with him. Be heading into Scranton and seeing the big boy locomotive that's there. From there, I'm probably going to go to Green Bay, where there's a big boy locomotive in Green Bay. And then Omaha. So I'm going to be going everywhere. Kind of crazy. And then I think that there's two. Of course, there's the 4014 that's based in Cheyenne. That's the thing. I'm not sure if it's on tour. I need to check that out because I may not get to actually see if it's on tour. I may not get to see it, or I may have to catch it somewhere else. So I got to figure that out. But there's another static display in Cheyenne, as I understand, and then there's one in Denver. So I may see the Denver. I may see the Omaha one, then the Denver one, then the Cheyenne one. I'm not sure. That's kind of in the air. My sister used to live in Denver, but she just moved, so they make some adjustments to some of my plans. But yeah, and I may keep going. I may go out west. Thinking about going out west. I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. It seems like it sort of would speak to me. I've lived in Texas most of my life. It's hot here. I'd really like to get out. I've been looking for jobs basically everywhere, and that was kind of one of the areas I've been hoping I could find something. It just hasn't worked out, unfortunately, but it's still good. You never know. But in the meantime, I'm doing a lot of other things, trying to keep myself busy. My wife still works, so we don't want to starve to death. I'm not sure if the kids will get to go to college, but yeah, it's fine, right? Everybody tells me college is useless now, right? I don't really believe that. Please go to school. It may seem like it's not going to work out, but it's probably better. I don't know if I go into school for fine art. It's that one's. Of course, I went to school for journalism, so I went to school for journalism, and I turned out as that guy. So take that for what you will. I think it benefited me from a social standpoint more than anything else. But surely, if you're going to be a doctor, or an engineer, or a lawyer, you're going to have to go to school. If you're going to be an artist, I think that, or an author, you might have to, sort of live with the fact that you won't get paid much. I don't know. School may or may not be for you. I don't know. Everyone should follow their dreams, though. I definitely believe that. Sorry about being off camera for a minute there. I was mixing paint. I moved the camera a little bit this time, trying to get a better angle on the painting. But I think it kind of puts me away when I'm off to the side here. And so you just see a painting and listen to me ramble. It's fine. I am doing it different too in that I am recording audio while I paint this time. I am using some AirPods, and hopefully the audio quality will come out okay. We'll see. If not, I'll re-record it and you won't hear this at all and it won't matter. There we go. So if you're hearing this, that's what I'm doing. If not, well, did something different. I think one of the problems is that I'll run out of things to talk about, which is weird. I like to yap a lot. So I guess I could talk about what I'm doing. I'm just trying to cover up the track that I'm covering up the thing that we did last time. It's great. It's fine. And then I'll work on this other track. I think that's better. I think that's closer to what I think the rover will look like here. And you know what? If it's not perfect, that's fine. I don't think that this scene is real life anyway. So I'll probably have to cover this again. This is one layer of the yellow is probably not going to be enough. And I could have gone a darker color, but then you still have to cover it again because I think the yellow is what I want here. So I don't think it matters that much. I could be wrong. I'm not a professional. If you're an artist and you know a better way to do it, leave a comment. Leave a like too. Maybe subscribe. I don't know. I really hate saying that. I'm not trying to make money off YouTube, so it's kind of, this is here for people who kind of stumble across it. But I don't know. Maybe I should try to make money off YouTube. So whatever. Or just try to sell my art, my writing. One of the things about writing, I talked a little bit about my family growing up in religious. My writing is very, very focused on that as well. Sort of the extremes of religion and government put together to form a Voltron of suck. It's not a terribly happy story, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird times, right? It's one thing I try to be very careful. I'm a white cis man. It's what it is, right? And I don't want to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I don't want to speak for somebody else. I do want to stand up for people who are being affected, by the political situation, the things that are going on right now that are very frustrating. Or a historical context, And if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know what he's talking about, well, be informed. If you're watching this and you're getting angry because I'm saying that, well, maybe this channel's not for you. Well, that's fine. I'm not gonna. I like to listen to everybody. I like to hear, but I have principles, right? Like we shouldn't disparage people for who they are, who they love. And I promise there's no vast conspiracy. There's no trans or gay conspiracy theories. There's just not. Unless people, for people, but they just, trans people they just want to see the women's bathroom. Man, you can become a janitor and see a woman's bathroom. I mean, if you're illegally trying to creep on women, that's illegal already. And if, you know, a predator is gonna not really care about the law. So I don't know. I think that, you know, it's kind of silly to think that somebody would go through years and years of pain and hardship and ostracization by society just because they can somehow creep on a woman's bathroom. Also, there are trans men, and that's, I don't know, I think that breaks conservative brains. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, if that angers you, well, I'm sorry. I'm not really. Grow up, to be honest. Be better. We're, you know, if you're worried about, if you're worried that it's unnatural or against God or whatever, I don't know, get a better God. That's what I would say. I kind of found that God's not for me. That's fine. But, yeah, I'm sure for others that may not be fine. It's, hey, listen, you can do what you want. But you can't force it. Don't force it on somebody else. If you don't think it's right to be trans, then don't be trans. That's easy. But just remember, not everybody thinks the same way. You know what? Even if you believe that there's a judgmental God, yeah, I mean, you can believe that. It's fine. Nobody's gonna stop you. Nobody's mad that you believe that. Yeah, you can. Well, maybe we're all going to hell. That's fine. That's deep and dark. I'm sorry. It's the problem. You talk to me for a while, especially when I'm rambling and not talking about. I don't know. It's kind of a platform. This is my platform. It's my channel. I can do whatever I want. So yeah, don't like it, go away. It's fine. So I got it doesn't look too bad. I mean it's kind of messy dirt, right? That's fine. I keep saying it's fine a lot. I probably should stop. I love the generation that grew up with the meme, you know, the dog on fire. Actually, you know, I should grab him. Yeah, I had him at my old office, you know, the little plushie. He needs fire. I don't know if you can see him, right? I'm kind of just holding it there, but yeah, he needs the fire. It's the only thing. I have some stickers somewhere too. But, I think, you know, my generation and every generation after sort of sees the world that way now. Like, the world's on fire, you know, and you just have to kind of either go it's fine or, I don't know, rage against it all or whatever. I don't know. Which is hard. I was talking to a friend today, and it was just like, you know, I can't be angry at everything. You know, I want to be angry. There's a lot of horrible things going on in the world, and I want to be angry about it. But it's like, I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to be angry about absolutely everything that I should be angry about. And I don't know how you. I think that's what the current administration wants. They want us so outraged that we can't do something. I kind of look at it this way. I'm trying to create something for creatives. I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to look for work that does good in the world. You know, I'm not going to go work for some crypto assholes or something like that. Just waste time and money and the environment. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. It's what I can do. I can be an ally. I can give money. Honestly, as a white dude that does okay most of the time. At least I was. You know, that's probably the biggest help I can be is like, sit down, shut up, write a check, or a Venmo or whatever. And I do that. When I can. I'm hoping to do more of it once things kind of situate, figure out what we're doing. You know, if our business takes off, I think that's going to be a big part of what we do. Is trying to supporting creators and you know, financially if we can. We're gonna. It's certainly something that we want to do. You know, can't make promises or like say how that will work yet. I don't know, but certainly what we want to do. I'm just mixing some more colors here. I'm gonna try to do some shadowing. Some of this lichen. I like to use the lichen. It helps it dry a little bit more. It looks like I probably still need to do some touch-ups on some of the horizon. It kind of look, I don't know, maybe I'll just leave it. It kind of looks like there's like a dark hill in the background or something right now. I don't know how well you can see it on cameras. It's an iPhone 12. I'm not investing in like major camera equipment, at least not right now. Something changed or this blew up somehow, maybe I would. We'll see. I probably would get more people watching my channel if I was doing train-related content. I do have the model train upstairs still, and it's something that I work on from time to time. And I probably, what I need to do is like set up the camera and just like when I'm working on it. It's been kind of frustrating. I've got all the tracks done. I've done a lot of detail work on the tracks. I've got the ballast in, and I've just had a really hard time. Like I keep finding places where the trains just derail, and I'm using like standard track. I don't know. I think part of it is me just getting a little bit older and finding it harder to deal with the tiny N scale. I don't want to, but part of me is like, maybe I should just go back to HO, like sell all the N scale stuff and like rebuild an HO. Just is just a little bit more forgiving. But yeah, that would be like starting over. And given how much time I've spent on it, I don't know. I also think about the fact that I probably want to sell this house at some point. It's not a good time now, so it's not happening anytime soon. But and I think our next house is just not gonna have this much space. We bought this house. We got a really good deal on this house. Just what it is what it is. When we bought it right as the we bought it right at the end of the housing crisis. Prices went back up. We were able to sell the house we had and not like take a bath on it, which was what we were really worried about. But we got a really good deal. We did a lot of work on this house. It needs a lot more, which is sad. We lived here 10 years, and now it's like all the things that we did when we moved in. Now they need to be redone. Awesome. That's how it works, though. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's a homeowner. Oh my God, so privileged." It's true. I am. What I like to say about that is, like I realize that I'm privileged, and my goal in life is to not take away my own privilege, but to ensure others have it, and everybody should be able to have a place to live. And I don't own like 5 houses. I'm not a landlord. I own my place and I live in it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know, maybe other people don't see it that way, but that's the way I see it. But I definitely, this is really, it's been nice in terms of, it's a big house, but it's also expensive to heat and cool, which is fun. You think about that, it's like, well, when you're doing okay, who cares? When you're like, oh, I really need to save a lot of my money, then it becomes kind of a problem. It's like, oh shit, electric bill is $500. That's not good. It's actually bad. So there's that aspect of it, but yeah, is what it is. But we're gonna paint again. We're gonna redo carpet. Our kids kind of basically got raised in here. Our kids are older now, but they were really young when we first moved here, and so we got places where they drew on the walls, the typical kid thing, So, and the ceilings all the ceilings are high in here, but the ceilings in the other room are very tall. They're so tall that it's just not doable. It's 17 feet up. So like 5 meters plus, just a little bit. And so it's definitely a McMansion. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. It's kind of stupid looking on the front, but you know, we like the space, so that's how we ended up with it. And but yeah, I have to like if I want to paint in that room, like I have to hire somebody. Like there's just no way I can't. We had a smoke alarm up there at one point. Of course, the battery went out on it because of course it did, right? So we I climbed up there. I have an extension ladder and I got it as high as it can go, and it goes to 15 feet, so just under 3 meters or 5 meters, and God, it was so scary. Like I had it leaned up against the wall. I climbed all the way to the top of the thing, and like had to climb to the very top to be able to reach the ceiling where the smoke alarm was. I just took the thing down. It's like I'm not putting that back up there. I'll end up dying. I'll end up falling off the ladder and dying, and that would be. I just don't want to end that way. And it just doesn't seem like a good. It doesn't seem like a good way to end. So yeah, I took it down. So anyway. Code inspector was out here checking for something else, and I actually asked him, like, am I gonna have to put that back up? And fortunately, he was like, no. Like there was one close enough in a regular hallway that it's in a room, so he was like, yeah, you've got, because that's on an open floor plan, you didn't have to worry about it. And I was like, thank goodness. I would really hate to have to put that back up there because it was not fun, or have to hire somebody to come out and do it. So yeah, so I may be privileged, but you know, home ownership comes with peril often. So just trying to make this kind of look like a crater here. Got the sunlight's kind of coming. I don't know if you can see my hand, but sunlight's kind of coming from the upper left. See it reflecting off our astronaut, and trying to get the shadows going that direction for the most part. It's not perfect, but it's fine. We're working on it. Just get little highlights, getting lots of. I like to get the little texture as much as I can. Some of this is gonna smear, but that's okay. Like I kind of see it as the shadows, the shadows and stuff will smear in here. Again, I am not perfect at this. This is not. I keep saying that, like, I'm on one hand, I'm like, I'd love to sell my art, and then on the other hand, I'm just an amateur. Like, don't actually buy anything from me. I'm actually not good. It's fine. But yeah, it's well, see, now I got too much of that brown on the brush. Oh well. Trying to get more of the yellow texture, like going along here, where it's kind of kicked up. Some of the textures is behind. Like, yeah, this poor painting. It's been through so many iterations. That's why I've never finished it. It's just been like, I had this idea, and then it sort of morphed into more than what I intended it for it to be. Like, I didn't like it, so I kind of started over, and then now I'm starting over again. Like, almost back to the original idea. I don't know. I think this is how that's gone with my novel as well. I started my novel in 2011. It's funny, I had a job at the time where I got hired and they didn't have anything for me to do. It's like a contract job, so weird. And I basically we like finished what we were asked to do in like, I don't know, like a couple of weeks. And they were like, no, we want to keep you on. Like, this is like a 6-month contract. And so I just started writing because I literally had nothing to do. And it was such a contract job that, you know, I couldn't, and it was a big company, so you couldn't just like go find something to do. Like, I worked in a lot of startups, and that's what you do. Like, startup, you just like, okay, you don't have anything for me to do, cool, I'll go find something to do, and like I'll make my own work. And I tend to do that. Like, I like being busy, and this was just like, no, like there's literally nothing to do. And so what I did was started writing a book. And it's funny, like I wrote a lot back in high school, really even middle school, and I just got out of the habit for like 10 years, and then I started. And with this job, I wrote the novel. It wasn't very good, and I just kind of put it down. Like everybody's like, okay, well now you rewrite it. Like that's the process, right? You write it, and then you like let it sit for a while, and then you revisit it later, because that's what's going to that is what is going to make it better. Like you revise and revise and revise. And so I wrote it, and then I started trying to revise it, and it wasn't good. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I would stop and start. I just had so much headache with it. Just to stop and start and trying to figure out what the story was going to be. And in the end, I kind of abandoned it. I worked on it on and off, but I don't know. I don't know if it really counts. So people are like, "Oh, you've been working on this for so long." It's like, well, sort of. I started it, and then I kind of kept writing on versions of it for a really long time, and never really got it to where I wanted it to be. I kind of changed in 2023. I got onto Blue Sky, which if you're not on Blue Sky, it's good. It's I keep hearing now that it's dying, but we'll see. I hope it sticks around. I like it. It's a little too political. I will like there's a lot. I think a lot of the leftist politics left Twitter and went to Blue Sky, and I hope it becomes more than just that. Like I get it. I know that's not everybody's thing. Kind of going back to like you can't just be outraged about everything all the time, and I definitely get that vibe on Blue Sky. It's like, oh, can you please be more outraged about everything? It's like, no, I can't actually. Sorry, but yeah, it's what was I going with? This is a problem with recording a live commentary. I lose my train of thought. I know what it was. I was talking about writing. So yeah, but I got connected. There's a lot of writers. There's a lot of writers on there, and I started getting connected with writers, and that's how I got connected with a writing community on Discord. Met people that I'm now in business with. So it's kind of, but it's so great because they really just encouraged me to pursue. And the other thing was that it's kind of funny. I have a friend who, long time friend from college. He was my roommate for a while. He also wrote a book, and he's written a few things. This is the first one he's published. I think just through a small press, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with self-publishing. Nothing wrong with small press. These are things that are valid. So I should say that. But I felt dumb because he started his way after I started mine. And so I was like, well, now it's a competition. I can't beat him to publishing, but I can become bigger, I guess. I don't know. It's a guy thing to be kind of that way sometimes. But yeah, he of course it's funny too because he's still in the church and all those things, which is fine. Like I don't fault him for it, but I've argued over that stuff. People, that's how friendship goes sometimes. You change, you grow. People don't change or grow the same way necessarily, and that's sometimes that's hard. But I have other friends now, so it's cool. But yeah, I got involved in the writing community. I rewrote the book. I had this. The book was originally just like one part, and I was like, well, I'm gonna write a prequel because like I found that the book had too much exposition of like all the things that came before, and so I was working really hard on trying to like tell a story that you couldn't see all of. And what I ended up doing was I ended up writing a long version that sort of told the entire story in 3 parts. And then I realized it was still too much sort of glossed over, and so I started over again and I wrote the first book. And then the first book ended up being I ended up getting it up to 140,000 words, which like everybody's like no one really wants to read a book more, especially it's a sci-fi novel. It was too much. It's definitely too much, and but it's fine. I've pared it back down. I'm right at 100,000 words now. Really have, I think, a good focus, and I'm waiting for a few we call beta readers, early readers, friends of mine that are reading it, people in the writing community are reading it, and I think once we get through that, make some final changes, and maybe we'll be moving on to looking for an agent. I do want to do a traditional publishing. Sorry, I'm talking like my writing group, not thinking that, I probably have people who are not into that. But doing traditional publishing, in part just because I'm so busy and doing a gazillion things. And I don't get as much creative license. I don't necessarily get a say in every piece of it. But at the same time, like there is an aspect of I don't have the skills or the time to market a book on my own. I just don't. And I know, like even in trad publishing, there's a lot of marketing that has to happen. But that's you get help, right? You get some amount of help. Now I do have friends now who are in the trad publishing world, and they're like, we thought it would get easier when we got an agent, and it's not. Well, yeah, no, I get that, but I still believe that like no agent, no company behind you makes it. You have to do everything. You have to do absolutely everything, and that's tough. I'm not cut out for that. I want to reach a larger audience. Because the book is about the danger of sort of treating a religion as being inherently good. And so and I think that we have a problem with that in the U.S. My book is probably coming far too late. It probably needed to come out 10 years ago. But hey, it's whatever. Here we are. It's fine. That's all I like to say. That's a little bit about the book. A lot of people who say they want to read it. Hopefully we get to that. Hopefully we'll get to the point where everyone can read it. I don't know about this. This is looking kind of, I don't know. This is one of those things where I'm probably going to do it. I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to let it sit for today. Right? I'm just going to try to get the texture the way I want it. And once it dries, I don't know. I may want to change it again. We'll find out. But yeah, no, this is not too bad. It's not too bad. Like the whole piece is kind of interesting, but I think that it's otherwise that's kind of fine. I need to go make dinner, but this is more fun, so I'm going to do this. I guess the light in here is probably kind of screwy. I got this curtain. So we've got a nice glow on the astronaut right now. So I can probably change that up just a little bit. So I make sure I don't get paint all over everything. I had to turn it. I had a bunch of monitors in here for my job, and it's kind of nice. I took them home, and or I took them back to the office. So I actually have more space for setting the paints. I had thought about doing the painting upstairs in the training area, but there's not a lot of space up there either to kind of spread out. Which is too bad. My dad made me a really cool work table. He does woodworking, and I'll have to show that off in a video at some point. But one, it's covered in train stuff, and there's not like a ton of space up there. I know if I cleaned it up, that would require me to do work though. I don't want to do that. That sounds boring. Let's see, where are we next? Let's work on. We'll leave this for now. I think that the tire tracks are better. I think they're better. Perfect. I may still mess with them. Do some. I definitely think they need some more texture, but if I felt like I was starting to really just kind of smear the paint, so we will move on. Let's add something. We got our little rover in the background here, so maybe we can get some little bitty details on it. Be sure I don't gonna touch a bunch of paint. I'm not good at this. Like, I probably should not touch the painting, but I'm not good. I have to study my hand, y'all. It is what it is, okay? Like, don't judge me. Or judge me, it's fine, I don't care. It's YouTube, it's the internet. That's what we're all here for, is judgment, right? So we're gonna give those little wheels. We'll add some more detail to them. We're gonna start with the little black circles. Kind of peeking out from behind here. Actually, it's coming out okay. Perfect. This is supposed to be a satellite dish. Let's see how good I can do this. We're going to giving it a little bit of definition. I'll probably come back with a lighter color in a minute. But nice. That's not so bad actually. Do that. Start defining the roof of this thing a little bit. It's gonna be kind of in the sunlight, so it should show up pretty good there. A little like half shadows on some parts of it. Yeah, that's not too bad. We're getting there. There's more stuff to do, but a little shadow underneath. Somebody's messaging me on Discord. Probably one of my friends. We're probably gonna play some games tonight. Play some probably some Crusader Kings 3. It's a fun game. I love playing it. It's hilarious because you're playing along and it's like, one of the guys is like, you slept with my wife. Yes, I'm having a child by your wife. It kind of confused my kids one day. I was like, my wife is pregnant, and the kids were like, we're gonna have a brother or a sister? No, we're too old for that. Hey, I like that. Let's see here. What time is it? That would be a good question. Be a good thing to know. Look over here on my computer. Also to see who a friend of mine messaged me. It's 5:30. All right. As I get older, I find that the clock gets smaller and smaller on my computer. I don't like it. I have the trifocal contact lenses, but they still aren't perfect. Like I don't quite focus correctly sometimes. So like trying to read small text, sometimes I have to squint a little bit. Everyone is like, oh my god, he's old. And it's gonna happen to you too. I mean, at least hopefully. Getting old beats the alternative. So we are. I think I'm gonna end it here. I've got some real fun things I want to do the astronaut, but I've rambled a lot today. I do have to do some cleanup, and I'm supposed to go make dinner for my family. I'm kind of stepping back and looking at this, and I think it looks okay. I think that the tire tracks, a little divot here. I got like I said, I will add some pieces to it, but I think it looks generally okay. So hopefully this all kind of came out on video. Hopefully you enjoyed my rant. I will be doing more painting videos. I may try to do another one before I take off on my trip. I don't know. If not, it'll probably be 3 weeks again before I do painting, because we're gonna do the train thing. I should know early next week what my schedule will be. So if you are on the We Ride at Dawn Discord server and you know me, I might be in your area. So happy to have a coffee or a beer or a lunch with people if I'm around wherever you're at. If you're not and you're an author, you should check it out. It's not even mine, but I know the people that run it, and they're very cool. It's a very welcoming place. Yeah, and if you're an artist, hey, drop a note in the comments. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me tell me, give me all sorts of advice, or just tell me I suck. It's fine. I don't take comments terribly personally. So, but I do like to get them. Engagement, right? So, anyway, everyone have a wonderful